In the heart of Charlottesville, Virginia, surrounded by the Blue Ridge Mountains, there is a story being told. It is a story with history. It is a true story about amazing people. A story of challenges.
When I walked into the NICU, it was scary.
My mom is the one that sits in the hospitals and sits in the waiting rooms with me. And
I remember sitting in the doctor's office, just holding her, rocking her, and just crying.
Oh, I thought I was going to die or something.
I remember we got home and laid in bed and cried.
But this is also a story of happiness and triumph.
It was scary, but at the same time, there were people there to help get me through the scary part.
It was an overwhelming, wonderful feeling.
So twice UVA's bailed me out, saved my life.
It was absolutely amazing the first time I got to hold him.
well, it feels great to be able to have two healthy, happy kids.
We are so lucky that we're here.
Above all, this is a story about a community that dreamed of a healthier future for its children.
But also just a caring community of support.
From the mountains to the ocean and from DC to Danville, everyone benefits by the opening of the Battle Building.
I credit the community with bringing this need to the attention of the medical center.
This is the story of UVA Children's Hospital. I'm Robert Van Winkle, and in 1826, Thomas Jefferson recruited Dr. Robley Dungleson, a specialist in the diseases of women and children from Keswick, England, to be the first professor of medicine and anatomy at the University of Virginia. Thus began UVA's commitment to children's health care. Now that commitment was bolstered in 1923 when the Department of Pediatrics was established with Dr. Lawrence Royster as its chair. In 1982, the Children's Medical Center was formed, and in 1985, the Children's Hospital held its first Children's Miracle Network telethon. Now in 2014, UVA Children's Hospital will turn yet another page in its already storied history book.
When I arrived here in 2002, what I observed was a dream for what is called a freestanding children's hospital. That's an idea that was developed back in the 40s that has all of the services that you need for children, both inpatient and outpatient, under one roof. And my observation was that that dream of the freestanding children's hospital wasn't likely to ever become a reality. And so I felt I had some difficult news to share with the community about how we might make this dream a reality as opposed to a continuing dream for the community. And the way we were able to do that is to create this concept of a free leaning.
We provide complete care, inpatient care, we provide intensive care, we provide outpatient care, and we have extensive programs of day surgery and other kind of community outreach programs as well, but we provide it integrated with the overall University of Virginia Medical Center.
Community support's important for a children's hospital because you really can't have one without the other. We are a part of the community, and we need the community's involvement and support to guide us in what's needed.
The Charlottesville community has always had a deep passion for its children's hospital. This was highlighted during the annual Children's Miracle Network telethon, held each summer for 26 years.
I came in February, and that June I attended my first telethon, and it was held here in the classroom in the gymnasium on the 7th floor. It was amazing the enthusiasm and warmth and just love of the concept of the Children's Hospital.
They approached us to be a family to be interviewed for their telethon, and we were nervous at first, but it was exciting that they offered us the invitations. We were like, yeah, definitely. And then they threw in that Rondé Barber would be there, and he would actually get to hold our kids. They introduced us, and I remember he had a football.
Football was the same size or bigger than the boys.
Yeah, so that was very cool. And he writes children's books, so he autographed books for the kids.
As positive as the telethon experience was for Adam and Kristen, nothing could have prepared them for what they felt the first day they left Ashton and Ethan behind in the NICU.
I remember we got home and laid in bed and cried. We just laid down and cried because you just imagined carrying the little carriers in and bringing your children home. I knew they were in good hands.
Yeah, we knew that they were where they needed to be, that they had the whole team looking after them. It wasn't one doctor, it was a team of doctors, and it wasn't just a nurse, it was a respiratory therapist and a nurse.
And I remember going in, the boys were born May 4th, and so it was very close to Mother's Day. And I remember going in and they had made me little Mother's Day cards, the nurses did, so just nice little treats like that.
For the Printies, it was the genuine affection that they felt from the doctors and nurses that set them at ease.
They knew our family, they knew the dog's name, they had a picture of our dog up in the room, any family, I mean, they were just very, very welcome to us. And we kept in touch with two of the nurses, and they came to the boys' first birthday party, so that was cool.
There have been many patients featured on the telethon over the years, but one of the more memorable stories is that of Neely Moffett.
I was the first adolescent heart transplant done at UVA.
Waiting for my heart was one of the most difficult things I had to do because you never knew what time it was going to come or anything, but in a way that helped.
I remember very well the day I told Neely that she needed a heart transplant. She just had a heart catheterization. We'd reviewed all of her films, and she was recovering from her heart catheterization, and she started crying and screaming at me, saying, no, no, never, never, I'm dying with my old heart.
It was scary. I remember thinking, well, you care and you love with your heart, so when they take my heart out and put another one in, am I going to care and love for other people and forget about, I mean, little questions like that logically you know the answer to, but kind of emotionally you have this fear, curiosities. I think it would be harder to be the parent because my mom, she's incredible.
When they wheeled her into surgery, Neely was afraid, and she said, but I don't want you to let me die. And as she was wheeled into surgery, those were the words that kept echoing in my voice, in my mind from her voice.
With a successful heart transplant behind her, Neely was able to just be a kid. All grown up and now a nurse, Neely was engaged to be married and was excited to move forward with her life when she had another health scare.
Because we figured it was probably a migraine or something like that. And they did a CT scan and found the brain tumor. And then when he got up here, almost both of us at the same time were like, we want to go ahead and get married before I had the brain surgery to have the tumor removed. In about 24 hours, a wedding was planned. We had the minister that we were planning to have for the wedding, and we set up the 4th floor waiting area for the aisles and everything, and my aunt went and found a dress, and we ended up, about 2 hours after a kidney biopsy, I ended up having a wedding. And it was a beautiful wedding. I had doctors and nurses come, and my family filled up the waiting room. It was very nice to have the ability to do that.
Neely made it through surgery and beat cancer. She also had a second successful heart transplant at age 28. Now she's a school nurse and a mother of 2 beautiful adopted children. So how does she feel about that young girl featured on the telethon all those years ago?
I don't see myself as a hero or a miracle, or I see the people that do, the doctors and the nurses and the research people, I see them as it. And so I'm a success story, and that's great, obviously, but it's a little embarrassing.
In 1957, UVA Health System opened the doors to the Children's Rehabilitation Center, renamed Kluge Children's Rehabilitation Center, or KCRC, in 1988. This facility revolutionized care for families of children with a wide range of developmental delays and physical disabilities. A national leader in the field, KCRC stood out for its family-centered approach to care.
I would say we're fundamentally here to help them participate in their community. So for a child, that means their role as a student, their role as a sibling in the home, their role as a Cub Scout, Girl Scout, soccer player, baseball player, anything in the community. Even before it became popular, we practiced family-centered care here. So we learned very quickly that we could do a better job for the child if we listened to their families. And so we've been trying to build on that and take advantage of that as we move towards the battle building. Family-centered care has become a focus for the way we deliver care. We essentially integrated that model into care first at the Kluge Children's Rehabilitation Center, and then we exported it, if you will, down the road to the rest of the Children's Hospital.
The family-centered care that the Rehabilitation Center became known for has now become a focus for all of UVA Children's Hospital.
When a child has an illness, serious or otherwise, it involves the whole family.
We're really making the patient and family experience the best that it can be.
But a child really does need a family-centered approach for this to be successful for them. And I think that's the difference between pediatrics and adults. We have to see it in a more holistic sense, if you will. We have to see it as a journey for the family along with the patient, and it takes a lot of people to help people along that journey.
They come as a unit with the family. You should leave here feeling like we listen to every one of your concerns and that we know we're in touch with what people need.
And you need an entire team to give our children the best care that they can have and to make sure that it's family-oriented, family-centered, because without that family, there's no true healing or health to be had.
For parents receiving difficult news about their children, that family-centered approach to care can make all the difference.
The diagnosis for us was quite a surprise because the whole thing arose just from Brandon having some shortness of breath.
You would never imagine hearing those words that your child was diagnosed with cancer, and of course it completely caught us off guard. I remember sitting in the doctor's office just holding her, rocking her, and just crying.
Well, I thought I was going to die or something, or be in the hospital for the rest of my life. I didn't know about cancer and stuff.
That's when we met Dr. Brian Vallier, who is amazing, whom we love very much.
When you hear a diagnosis of cancer, you never use the word lucky, but that was actually a word that I thought of quite often, wow, we are so lucky that we live in a town with a medical facility that's top-notch, that's doing this research right here, that he's getting treated at right here. We don't have to travel across the state. It's right here.
I recall when I was 9 years old, I lost one of my good friends to leukemia. And at the time, leukemia was almost universally fatal. The survival rate now is in excess of 80%. So we've come a long way.
Particularly in my field in pediatric oncology, we've seen tremendous innovations. So when I first started here at the university 20 plus years ago, if we treated a child with acute lymphocytic leukemia, their chance of being cured was about 60 or 70%, and now it's 90%, 90+% for most patients today. And that's through all of our collaborations with basic science, with clinical science, all the research that we do.
It was an overwhelming, wonderful feeling. You never thought that day would come, but once it did, it was also very emotional, the no more chemo, but, the what ifs come, and just a very emotional but happy, glorious day.
It was like a huge weight was lifted off of not only our shoulders, but his shoulders.
Our experience here at UVA is phenomenal. We have a wonderful relationship, the staff, clinic, and also on the 7th floor. It's our second home, our second family.
UVA Children's Hospital relies on community support to help families throughout the region. A member hospital of Children's Miracle Network, UVA Children's Hospital has hosted a number of memorable events throughout the years.
A couple of things that stick out in my mind are the Klockner walks, the enthusiasm, and all of the various groups that personed, I guess, the phone banks, the enthusiasm, and they bought special shirts that they would wear for the telethon.
My name is Beth Kennan, and I am a member of the Children's Hospital Committee here at UVA, and I've been stuffing envelopes and helping out since I was 8 years old. To see the different groups that come in and want to help out, from little children that at the telethon used to want to put coins in a fish tank, to the contribution that the battles have made, it's truly a community investment. Everyone wins with this, and it's not just the Charlottesville-Albemarle community. It is, I think, from the mountains to the ocean and from DC to Danville. Everyone benefits.
So we're a miracle family here at the UVA Children's Hospital, and we've been to many events where we've seen the Children's Miracle Network organization come together and help the hospital here with the dance marathon, which was a great, wonderful, fun event.
We attend every year, and every year we actually bring our patients, our families, our own families. We participate in dancing with the students and having a great time. And last year we had a flash mob.
So yes, I was asked to choreograph a flash mob for the Children's Miracle Network dance marathon here at UVA, and it was a wonderful event to say thank you to the students who worked many long days and hours on this wonderful event. We surprised them as a thank you and did a dance for them, which was so much fun. Doctors, nurses, lots of patients, family and friends all came out and did this dance.
Whenever I go to the grocery store, Food Line, we live near Food Line, and they're always like, do you want to support the Children's Miracle Network? And I'm like, absolutely, add it onto my grocery bill. So just the help that they gave us, we definitely want to give back so that other families can experience that.
I was actually in Walmart recently, and I saw the small little incubator, right in the middle when you walk in, and there were people putting, their change in there, and it was just a wonderful feeling to know that, a lot of people care and a lot of people want to give to this wonderful hospital.
For years, we've had so many volunteers come here and help. Madison House from the UVA undergraduate campus. The Shriners has been a huge supporter of our community. Every year they do a Christmas party for our kids. Santa Claus makes an appearance. They buy toys for all of the children and then have a great party where they come and entertain our kids. One of my favorites was this local group of motorcyclists. It was a motorcycle club who every summer would have a rally and would show up usually on the other side of the building, and we'd bring all the inpatients out so they could all sit on Harleys and have their pictures taken, So it was just tremendous.
Just knowing that we're in a community that cares that much about their children's health and that are willing to put in not only resources but time. It's a wonderful place to work. It's a wonderful place to live.
I think you support it because it does amazing things. You support it because the child next door might end up as a patient here. I think it touches every part of the community. It has a lasting impact. It's pioneering health care for children. That pediatric heart transplants happen here. That's a pretty remarkable thing in a relatively rural area to have a hospital that can do that.
Well, in the year 2013, we performed 8. So far this year, we've performed 2, most recently a week and a half ago. Based on the population of the state, we would expect that there would be, in an average year, 9 children per year in the state of Virginia that would require transplants.
My son was transferred here in 2013 because he was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, and here they did the heart transplant for us. Only the right side of his heart had developed, and normally we would do a 3-step procedure and reroute it so that the blood would continue to be oxygenated and flow correctly, but the right side of his heart was enlarged, and it wasn't worth trying the next step, so we decided to go with a transplant. We live in Blacksburg, and it's about 2.5 hours away, but this is where everyone had recommended us to be, and once we got here, it felt right, and I really enjoyed everyone that I first met. He stayed here, of course, until after his first surgery, which was in December, and we were possibly going to be able to go home, but then we decided to go with the transplant, so he would need to stay here. It was a rough time here. He went into cardiac arrest twice. We signed the paperwork for the transplant in January and he got his transplant in March, so we were here the whole time, and it was hard, but it was worth it. It's great. We love it up here. As soon as we walk in the door, he's a little celebrity. Everyone's like, "Oh, Ladavian, you're so big." And his sister comes in and runs off with everyone and gets books and colors, and it's great. We're like the little celebrities here. As soon as we walk in, I see everyone. Like, you wouldn't think that we didn't live here all the time. But it's great. I love it here, and I love everyone here. It's funny because we're Hokies, but now UVA has moved into our hearts. We might have to clap at a few games.
And now, with the opening of the new outpatient building and the announcement of UVA Children's Hospital as one of U.S. News and World Report's best children's hospitals, UVA Children's Hospital has a lot to celebrate.
Of the 30 years, this is probably the most exciting time for me.
By moving to the Battle Building, we will have child-friendly and family-friendly spaces that really serve the special needs of children, in particular children with complex medical needs. But in addition, we'll be able to bring all of the subspecialties together all in one place. And so we'll be able to integrate the care. If a child has multiple health needs, they could see multiple providers at the same time and have multiple ancillary services that are provided.
And so much of our population of children now just has a lot of medical complexity. There's a lot of kids that have needs that really go across divisions, across the medical and other therapy services that we provide, so that having everybody under one roof really will meet more needs for more children.
But all of this will occur in a state-of-the-art facility that is child-friendly, family-friendly, efficient, easy to get to, and will really be a quantum leap in the quality of the services we can provide.
I think that the beauty for the patient is they can park in the 11th Street parking structure. They don't need to go outside. They can go into the clinic building, and on any of the floors of the building they can get every pediatric need you can imagine taken care of. We're going to make every attempt to coordinate visits so that in the shortest period of time possible, a shopping list of specialists can be arranged to evaluate a child if it's necessary. So I think from a family standpoint that is very exciting to us.
Because we do travel so far away that we can go to one place and stay there and still be able to see everyone with really out having to go visit and have to go to a lot of different places.
We're really excited to have this building and to have the community come and see how unique of a place it is for children. When children receive care, they're not like little adults. The environment is very important to how they feel comfortable, how we can relieve some anxiety. So whatever we can build into that situation, we've tried to do. So there's special, unique places to play, and the colors are very childlike. It looks homey in many respects.
We provide a safe environment for them, a friendly, comfortable environment. That makes the difference. It will start with our teachers out in the lobby areas, our greeters. We have to all be involved in making the best experience for children. We want children to come here because it is the best place to come.
There's going to be a lot of room in the building for research, clinical research to take place, which we hope will directly improve the care of children with various heart diseases.
Medical care for children has improved tremendously over the years, all thanks to research. The Battle Building brings together researchers and clinicians who work side by side to pave the way for a healthier future for our youngest patients.
Our mission is not only providing the very best care, but also finding new ways of treating the ravages of disease. And so the fact that they're a part of this academic medical center allows us to push the frontiers of the disease further and further back all the time by participating in clinical trials and other forms of research.
Well, one of the roles, maybe the most important role of an academic health center in our society is to innovate, is to be the leading edge of healthcare, and that spans everything from providing advances in the quality of care to providing advances in service, healthcare delivery, and also advancing the science of care.
And now, as we move the Kluge site, we will be joining the rest of our department in the Battle Building, and we will be the UVA Child Development and Rehabilitation Center. I think that name reflects what we do, that we're taking care of kids who have developmental problems, the child development part, and continuing the rehabilitation part. We dropped the Research Institute, not because we're going to do less research, but because the overall whole, we are developing a child research center that will embrace all of that research need.
I'm the director of the Children's Health Research Center, and which is a center that has basic scientists as well as clinician scientists to do the best possible discoveries and science for the benefit of children. Obviously, research is the motor that leads us to improvement in medical care. So without discoveries, there is no such a thing as translating something into clinical practice. Children are our future. If we invest in them, we really are investing in the future leaders of our society. And the whole society will be much better for that.
When that hospital is the one that is saving the life of your child, there's nothing more important. You could have asked me 100 reasons why Charlottesville is a great place to live before his diagnosis, and while I was thankful the hospital was here, I never would have mentioned it. Now, if you ask me, it would be one of the top, if not the top thing I would list, because all the other stuff means nothing without your health. And so to be able to have a facility here like UVA Children's Hospital that can keep our kids healthy, it allows you to enjoy every other aspect of life.
To find out how you can be a part of UVA Children's Hospital, visit this website.
Thanks to UVA Children's Hospital, we are living healthier ever after.
We're all living healthier ever after.
Healthier ever after.
Healthier ever after.
We're living healthier ever after.
Thanks to UVA Children's Hospital, we're living healthier ever after.
Healthier ever after.
Healthier ever after.
Giving a child their healthier ever after is the best gift that we could ever give them. So it's an honor to be here and to work with the children in the community.
Here at UVA Children's Hospital, we are committed to having every child have their healthier ever after.
Healthier ever after.
Healthier ever after.
As we dedicate this wonderful facility, I think we all ought to keep in mind that it's really committed to the concept of healthier ever after for our children, for their families, and for the community.